Caitlin Clark came in and made such an impact on how many people started to care about the WNBA. This was the highest viewed season in the history of the league. In 28 years, the numbers were stellar. Caitlin Clark drew a whole new fan base into it. And now the question is, because she has been eliminated, she and the Indiana Fever are eliminated after losing 2 games to the Connecticut Sun. What is the rest of the season going to look like, ratings-wise, for the WNBA?
You're watching the WNBA Finals, but something's off. The arena feels empty. The energy's gone. What happened? Caitlin Clark's exit from the playoffs didn't just hurt her team. It's threatening to sink the entire WNBA. Let's break down why the league's struggling without its brightest star.
Reality is knocking on the door of the porta potty. The truth is finally coming to the light. The same light that is going to be dimming here in about 12 hours when Caitlin Clark is eliminated from the playoffs. I know the mainstream media wants us to believe that the WNBA is surging in popularity.
Remember those packed arenas during Clark's games? The buzz, the excitement, the feeling that you were watching something special. Well, that's all gone now, and the numbers don't lie. When Clark was playing, the WNBA was pulling in a whopping 18 million viewers.
Oh my God! Wow!
Now, they're barely scraping 200,000. Can you believe it? That's a massive drop.
Caitlin Clark herself for the WNBA.
Big question. How did the WNBA become so dependent on one player? And what does this mean for its future? Is the league in trouble without its superstar? We're about to dive into all of that, and more. Get ready, because things are about to get really interesting for the WNBA.
$185,000.
Now you're probably thinking, how could one player have such a massive effect on an entire league? Well, Caitlin Clark isn't just any player. She's a basketball unicorn pulling off feats that make even the most jaded sports fans do a double take. What exactly makes her so special? Let's break it down. First off, Clark's achieved something no other NCAA player, male or female, has ever done. She's the first to hit 350 points and 150 assists in a season. That's not just good, that's rewriting the record books. But it's not just about the numbers. It's how she gets them huge game guys for Caitlin Clark, sinking her 86th three-pointer of the season, breaking the WNBA record for the most three-pointers by a rookie in a single season. Congratulations to Caitlin, the Indiana Fever. Clark's playing style is like nothing you've seen before. She's dropping deep three-pointers, like they're layups, and dishing out no-look passes that leave defenders spinning every game. She feels like a highlight reel in the making, and fans, they're rearranging their schedules just to watch her play. That's the kind of impact.
The numbers with Caitlin Clark there. Her first playoff game, drawing 1.84 million viewers. Ridiculous numbers. the highest rated playoff game since game 2 of the 2000 WNBA finals. This wasn't even just an opening round game back in 2000. This was one of the finals games. So this clearly is showing how much of an impact Caitlin Clark is having.
But here's where it gets really interesting. In when Clark's on the court, she's not just playing basketball, she's putting on a show. Over 1 million viewers tune in to watch her games. Can you believe that? In a world where attention spans are shorter than ever, Clark's got people glued to their screens for hours.
The average WNBA viewership, okay, game, 7,300 in attendance, okay? The average Angel Reese game is 10,100, 10,200 they come to watch her. You know what the average attendance is when Caitlin Clark plays home or the road?
What?
15,300.
Wow.
Okay? 15,300.
Now, let's talk about what happens when Clark shows up to a game. Your typical WNBA game, you're looking at maybe 7,000 to 9,000 fans in the stands. When Angel Reese plays, ticket sales are about 10,000. But when Clark's playing, the arena's packed with over 18,000 screaming fans. That's more than double the usual crowd. It's like she's got some kind of basketball magic that turns casual viewers into hard fans.
Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years. So yes, the WNBA was growing before Caitlin Clark. Make that abundantly clear. But it was growing incrementally compared to the exponential growth.
And get this, Clark's impact isn't just big, it's fast. She's managed to do in 5 weeks. What would typically take the WNBA 5 years in terms of getting people excited about women's basketball? 5 weeks versus 5 years. That's not just impressive. That's game-changing.
Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means is if the WNBA were continue to grow at the rate it grew from 22 to 23, it would take until 2028 to do what Caitlin Clark did this year.
5 weeks of Clark magic had the WNBA flying high. But now it's like someone pulled the plug on the whole operation. Fans are angry, ratings are dropping, and the league scratching its head. What went wrong? And is there any way to fix it?
And the Fever are going to be over 200,000 higher than the next highest total attendance in league history.
Clarkonomics, my friend, Clarkonomics.
So if you look at this little chart right here, the Fever will have over 600,000 fans in attendance total this year. And the second best to that was in 1999 with the Washington Mystics at just over 400,000. So the Fever are going to account for over 200,000 more fans this year to their games than any other team, not only this year in 2024.
Let's talk numbers for a second. The Indiana Fever Clark's team was looking at over 600,000 fans, packing their arena this year. That's massive. But without Clark on the court, those seats are staying empty. It's not just about one team, though the entire WNBA is feeling this.
Ratings for Game 1 have got to be disappointing for Kat Engelbert and the WNBA front office. There were regular season games this season where Caitlin Clark drew more than 1.8 million viewers. However, I hope Kat Engelbert is ready for disappointment because there's a hell of a lot more of it on the way. Game 1 between the Las Vegas Anonymous Faces and the Seattle Shitbirds on ESPN, 461,000 viewers.
You might be thinking, come on, it can't be that bad. Right? We get this. Fans are so upset with how the WNBA treated Clark. They're actually boycotting games. Can you believe it? People who were die-hard supporters are now turning their backs on the league. Why they feel like Clark wasn't protected from unfair calls and bias on the court.
The Nike ads. Where are the Nike commercials? Where are the Indiana Fever in the playoff commercials? Where are all of these great marketing campaigns that we saw for Caitlin Clark?
But here's where it gets really interesting. The WNBA had this incredible opportunity with Clark. She was bringing in millions of new viewers, getting people excited about women's basketball in a way we've never seen before. And what did the league do with all that potential? They dropped the ball. Clark was like a walking, talking, three-point shooting billboard for the WNBA. But instead of promoting her, supporting her, and using her star power to grow the game, they let her slip through their fingers. Now fans are left wondering, does the WNBA even know what they're doing? You know, it's bad when people start saying things like, the harsh reality is that the WNBA is going to struggle massively without Caitlin Clark. That's not just a fan being dramatic, that's a real concern about the future of the league.
That's unsportsmanship. And right now you're at a pro level, so kids are looking up to you on how you do things.
So what's the WNBA supposed to do? Now some are saying they need to completely change how they operate. One fan put it bluntly, if the WNBA wants to survive and thrive, they need to promote and protect their brightest star, Caitlin Clark. But is it too late? We're left with a big question. Can the WNBA survive without Caitlin Clark? Or has she exposed deeper issues within the league? It's not just about one player anymore. It's about how the WNBA handles its stars, treats its fans, and plans for the future.
Asia Wilson, MVP of the Olympics, averaged 18 points, which was third overall. She led in rebounds at 10. She led in block shot. She led in double-doubles. She showed why she's the best female basketball player, women's basketball player in all the land, and it's not even close.
The WNBA is in crisis mode. But hold up, there's a wild card they haven't played yet. Remember, Asia Wilson, she's been quietly dominating, and now all eyes are on her. Is she the secret weapon that could turn this whole mess around?
But anyway, I digress. On Wednesday night, this woman dropped 36 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 steals to help the Aces beat the Dallas Wings 95-81. Wilson became the first player in WNBA history to have at least 35 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 steals in a game. She's also the first player with at least 35 points and 5 steals in multiple games. And this year, she also became a New York Times best-selling author. She's also the reigning 2-time defending NBA champion. She's also the reigning 2-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Let's talk about Asia Wilson for a second. This woman's not just a basketball player, she's a force of nature. We're talking about a 2-time WNBA MVP Olympic gold medalist and one of the most dominant players in the game today. But here's the kicker, she might just be the WNBA's best shot at turning things around.
Not only is she averaging 27.3 points per game, which is on the verge of breaking Diana Taurasi's record.
You've seen Wilson on the right. She's not just good, she's jaw-dropping. We're talking about a player who can drop an average of 27 points a game and grab 15 rebounds. Like, it's just another day at the office, and her recent performances, they've been on another level in one game. She put up 40 points and 12 rebounds. That's the kind of stat line that makes you stop and say, wait, did I read that right now?
Now she joins basketball greats like Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, and Lauren Jackson as the league's only 3-time MVPs. Coming off the best year of her career, averaging nearly 27 points a game, Wilson passes much of the credit to her University of South Carolina coach Dawn Staley.
But here's where it gets really interesting. Wilson's not just about the numbers. She's got that X factor, that ability to make everyone around her better when she's on the court. The whole energy of the game changes. Fans lean forward in their seats, wondering what she'll do next. It's that same kind of excitement we saw with Clark, but with a whole different flavor.
She released her first book, and it was entitled Dear Black Girls. Obviously, if you know anything about A'ja Wilson, you know that she's philanthropic, you know that she's very conscientious, you know that she's about uplifting a bunch of people, but especially young black ladies in this society that we're living in today. A message like that, the kind of message that she conveys, the kind of example that she sets, I cannot say enough about her. Have you ever seen this woman play? A'ja Wilson is the true face of the WNBA. Caitlin Clark could potentially be that one day. And obviously she's been box office, but A'ja Wilson is the one with the credentials. She's the one that steps on the court and delivers championships, a back-to-back champion.
Now, you might be thinking, okay, she's good, but can she really save the WNBA? Well, that's the million-dollar question. Wilson's not just a player, she's a leader. She's using her platform to speak out on important issues, getting involved in community initiatives, and basically showing everyone what the WNBA is all about. That's the kind of thing that can attract new fans and keep them coming back.
It's probably time to start pushing the other, like the girl that have been carrying this league for the last 4 or 5 years, push them to the forefront as well, like a Rike and Dallas.
Let's be real for a second. Can one player, even one as amazing as A'ja Wilson, fill the void left by Caitlin Clark? That's a tall order. The WNBA has got some serious thinking to do. They need to figure out how to promote their stars, protect their players, and keep fans engaged, even when the big names aren't on the court.
I mean, it's a mixture of both. Like, I want to be known as one of, like, when you're talking about GOATs of the W, I need my name to be up there, at least top 3. Like, that's my goal, is like, I want something like, when you're thinking of women's basketball, when you're thinking of the W, I want my name to be on it.
Come on, tell them, A'ja, tell them.
Takes, like, whatever it needs to get there, whether it's the rings, whether it's the accolades individually, like, I want to be up there in that category.
That conversation.
Like, I need that in order for me to sleep at night. Like, when it's all said and done, I'm like, no. When people be like, oh, you see the W, like, nah, but A'ja Wilson, though. Like, that's what I need.
Right.
Wilson's got the talent, the charisma, and the drive to be a major part of the WNBA's future. She can't do it alone. The league needs to step up and give her and all their players the support and promotion they deserve. It's not just about finding the next big star. It's about creating an environment where multiple stars can shine.
But give me your thoughts on this. WNBA ratings are embarrassing without Caitlin Clark. 0 games have sold out in the playoffs. Outside of Caitlin Clark, there was not a single game that eclipsed 500,000 viewers.
All right, let's talk about the WNBA's big problem. The league's in trouble. And it's not just because of Caitlin Clark. Fans are angry, ratings are dropping, and the whole thing's starting to look shaky. So what's the WNBA going to do?
The WNBA.
Here's the deal. The league needs to step up its game. They've got to figure out how to keep fans interested, even when the big stars aren't playing. Maybe it's time for some new marketing tricks or a fresh way to present the games. But here's the real kicker. They need to protect their players. Better. No more unfair calls or bias on the court. Now here's the million-dollar question. Is this? The end of the WNBA? Or could it be the start of something new? Could all this drama actually push the league to make some real changes? Or is women's pro basketball about to fade away? What do you think?